Close, what
Well,
you're
close,
saying, be close.
or you can turn it and talk. So if you want to talk this direction, or you can talk to the camera, whichever.
Okay.
Just make sure that you're talking into the end of it.
Okay.
Are we good? Hello. Welcome back to the Last Chance County Fair here in Helena, Montana. I'm John Looney. I'm running for House District 81. We are sitting at the Red Quill Media booth, who has been sponsored by New Vision Thrift Shop from downtown. She was kind enough to come in and put our set together. I'm here with County Sheriff Leo Dutton, and we're going to talk about being candidates for office.
Thanks, John.
So first off, because we talked to Brent a little while ago.
Yes.
And somebody didn't ask him about the purple shirts.
Oh, man, I'd love to talk about that. The purple shirt, today is Purple Shirt Day. We partnered with 3 or 4 different areas. So what's important to remember is ManUp Campaign is designated to the rodeo genre. That is who it's aimed at. And it's not to be preachy, but it's about bringing up a conversation about domestic violence. The genesis of this was Karen Donahue, sheriff in Caldwell, Idaho. What happened to him is his granddaughter was killed in a domestic violence incident, and he and his wife Jeannie were devastated, but thought, "What can we do? We've got to do something." So they started up. It was aimed at people who are in rodeo. Man up. We're going to talk about domestic violence. There's other ways to solve your anger. There's other ways to do that. So they've partnered with domestic violence shelters. They've also partnered with Western State Sheriff's Association, which I'm a member of and on the board. They've also partnered with the Montana Sheriff's Peace Officers Association. They've also partnered with us, the Lewis and Clark County. And we partnered with the domestic violence shelter here, and all of these partners, the fairgrounds. We approached the fairgrounds probably 3 or 4 years ago, told them what the program was about, and they were ecstatic. They said it's time to have a conversation. It's not to beat anybody over the brow, but we want to talk about it. We want to talk about our other ways to solve your anger. There's other ways to help you in your relationship instead of being domineering. There's other ways that you can work out your issues with who you're married to or who you're dating, all those kind of things. We're excited to bring up that conversation. It's to bring awareness to domestic violence.
So here at the fair, if you go to the, I don't know what they call the area.
West entrance.
West entrance. Is it the Friendship Center that's?
The Friendship Center, and those of us, to include me, are selling raffle tickets. They're 50-50. You can buy one for $1. You can buy 10, well, let's see, what is it? If you give them, I'll just go with the max. If you want a true wingspan, it's $20.
And you get to pick the 6'5" guy that's selling it by the door, right?
No, we find Andy Hagley, and so have him hold it out. But $10 gets you a half a wingspan.
10 is a half. 20 is a full.
Yeah.
And I think Butch he told me another one. I can't remember what
well, if you want one, that's $1.
Okay.
$1.
So.
Yep.
I got mine.
Wow, awesome. Thank you.
My wingspan.
Yep. So what you could win is a belt buckle with the ManUp Campaign. It's a silver belt buckle. And or you could say, you know what, I'd like half of the 50-50, because you get your first, whoever wins gets their first right of refusal of what they want. So like say belt buckle, if you go, you know what, I'm going to turn that $5,000 away and make the belt buckle, bless your heart. The second person gets the 50-50, but the first winner gets their pick. And then the second win. So we'll announce it at the rodeo. We'll also put it on the Facebook for the Friendship Center and our Facebook for the Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office. We'll put the winning number there.
Perfect. Want to start talking about some campaign issues?
Sure, yeah.
So you're running for sheriff?
I am.
Give me some history first. How long have you been sheriff? Full disclosure, I've worked for Sheriff Dutton. I know Sheriff Dutton, so I may act like I'm skipping questions, but it's because I already know the answers.
Okay. All
But
right. Yeah. Yeah,
tell
absolutely.
anybody that doesn't know you.
Yep. I started in this business. I was an EMT and I started as a reserve in 1985. I've worked my way up to be a paramedic. I switched in 1996. I worked my way through the ranks. I started as a deputy, whatever we called them then, basically a probationary deputy, worked up my way through the ranks. I became sheriff, and I wasn't the sheriff, I don't think, when you were there. Yeah, I
yeah,
was
you
too. Yeah, yep. So anyway, I became the sheriff in September 2nd, 2008. And things that are important to me, you worked in the detention center, and you did a great job. I was sad to see you go. Whatever caused you to do that, still sad to see you go, because you were one of the ones that had an understanding what to do. So appreciated that about you.
Thank you.
So the detention center is something that is still of concern about staffing, we've remodeled since you've been there. We've made all 3 floors the detention center now. But if you've ever rebuilt an old house, that's what we did. Those are things
So,
we have issues with.
I remember when we were playing, because we were planning that, and I don't think a lot of people understood. We tried when we went and we were trying to get that first levy going. The detention center, the building was actually designed to go up,
Yes.
and it had footings. I think footings out to the apartment building, just to the west side.
We could have done that.
Could have done that,
Yeah.
but I guess they put all the radio, the state radio system is in the attic,
Yes.
and all the air exchange for the courthouse is in the attic.
Yes.
So we kind of got stuck with the
Yeah, we did. I don't know. One of the reasons that we got stuck is that we actually, the very first public safety mill levy we was to be out in the valley, and it was $42 million. And the class that I'd went to called Planning of New Institutions down in Colorado said, "Hey, Sheriff, we know you think you're important, but in this case, you're going to have to take a second seat. The commissioners need to step up and really advocate for this project." I don't think that happened. So it failed. But that same building, which you're going to need in the future, we got to think about that now. We're going to need it because Helena, Lewis and Clark County is growing. And you know it, I know it. So one of the things that we can't do is stick our head in the sand and go, we don't care.
No, I still deal with the jail almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, yep.
So we went from, I think the original jail had 82 beds.
It's about 74.
74.
Yeah.
And then the new jail has 164.
64. Yeah.
And it took a while to get the public to understand that we needed more room.
It did.
And then once we built it, we already needed more space.
Yeah, that was true. We did at 5 things that we were able to do. One, we did to get a pretrial program. That helps. Otherwise, we'd have today we had 158 people in our detention center, full capacity. And it's not like a motel, you just fill beds. There's classifications, there's all kinds of things you have to do. You're very aware of that.
Yes. You can't just,
yeah,
here, you're going here, this is where they empty, but you can't put some people together.
Right.
You can't put genders together.
Correct.
You can't put some offenses together.
Correct.
So when you have to classify somebody, there's 164 beds, but not really.
Right. Exactly. Not really.
So jail.
Yeah, jail's one of them. The other thing, what I'm campaigning on is safety, service, trust. Safety is part of that component of the detention center. Safety is part of patrol. Safety is part of everything that we do and what the citizens want. That's who the bosses are. I get the privilege of having the designation of being the sheriff and coroner, but the true bosses are the citizens. They're the ones that vote. They're the ones that back the form of government that we have, and that form of government is guaranteed by the Constitution of Montana and the Constitution of the United States. I'm very aware of that, and there are some people that like me, some people that don't. I mean, that's just how it goes. But I meet with everybody. There are some people that are unhappy, but I back the people that work there. I mean, we look into complaints, every complaint, but there are a fair amount of them, especially if you've gotten a ticket, things like that, or complaints in the detention center that somebody spoke to you rudely or something like that. Sorry about that. You were in there for a homicide and somebody spoke to you rudely, but we'll look into it.
I think my producer got a little taste of how things work. I just had somebody come up and want to have a discussion, and you have to stand your ground and kind of make some people understand that I'm here to listen.
Yep.
I'm going to do everything I can, but you're not going to walk all over me either.
Correct.
And that's
Yep.
that's how the detention center works. But let's get outside of town.
Okay.
Lewis and Clark County is a large county.
Yes.
We have Augusta
Yep.
and Lincoln.
Mhm.
What are
Yes.
some of the issues outside of our immediate area in some of our remote areas that
Some of the issues that affect public safety, and that's what I'll touch on, that I can help with, but I'm not responsible for, are response from EMS. The other things that I can help with are communications, such as a radio system. That changed in 2000, the year 2000. Well, actually, it changed in 2004, where they can now talk in places they haven't. Augusta's having some problems with their repeater. They're working on, when I say they, the guy that works for me, Jack, is doing a phenomenal job. Those are some of the things. It's just low population, but the needs are still the same. All of the things that we need here in the valley, they're still the same. So we have resident deputies in Lincoln and Augusta. We have a deputy is assigned to the Wolf Creek Craig area that responds out of Helena. Doesn't have to live there anymore. So these are some of the negotiated things that we did to try to get people to do the job.
so if I don't know anything about the sheriff's office and I'm looking at the sheriff's office, explain how it's you can have a deputy in Augusta that's going to respond to something that has to wait an extraordinarily long time for backup to come up.
That's correct.
Teton County's pretty close, so
Yes.
But I don't think people understand
No.
the dangers of
They don't.
what goes on in remote areas like
Yeah.
that.
The only-
My brother lives in Augusta, and I went up there and he told me, he's like, it's Sunday. Make sure you're doing 70 on the road back down to Helena. Deputy Bragg has a program that she starts on Sundays.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he called it, but I thought that's outstanding because
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've come back and forth and somebody passes me doing 110 and I'm like,
Oh. Yep.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I always think about, the deputies that are stuck up there by themselves.
So
It's-
that it's comparable to the Montana Highway Patrol when you're out in eastern Montana. Lewis and Clark counties, 3,500 square miles. The furthest code run is what code, when I say, is lights and siren and running as fast as you can within reason. But we patrol the areas that are up in, say, Gibson Dam or Benchmark. And we do have calls that people get intoxicated and they start fighting with each other. So what works here, John, is partnerships, being able to partner with the Fish and Game, partner with Teton County, partner with Powell County, partner with the Montana Highway Patrol. All of those. We're not big enough that we can say we got it all, because we don't. So those, to answer your question, we really rely on help from others. So you could have a deputy calling for assistance and they're 160 miles away. You've got to go through canyon, then canyon roads through Wolf Creek. Then you've got to go on gravel. You can't do 110 on gravel, at least more than 20 seconds, because you just can't. So you're 100% right. I don't think the public understands the situation sometimes, but how we curb that, if possible, we hire people that have great verbal techniques, verbal judo. If they can talk somebody in a patrol car, that's the primary thing. So if you're badge heavy, we don't want you because you're going to get hurt and you're going to make the citizens who pay you not happy.
Yes, that will happen. What are some of the things that citizens have been asking you about out on the campaign trail? So,
Well, they have asked about budget. So our budget is roughly about 18 million. And they say, well, how come it's so expensive? Well, you've covered some of those.
Yep.
We cover the detention center, we cover all the vehicles, the fixed costs. Just think of your home. How much is your telephone bill went up? How much is the heating and cooling and the HVAC system? The computer system, holy moly, that's went up. And just paying the insurance. So a lot of those plus wages. Now we argue about it, wages, and that's fine. That's the deal. But wages are roughly out of our 18 million that we get. The wages are at about 8 million. So we're not the highest paying in the state. We can't be. We don't have the citizen all of the base to do it. So if we want to get paid more, we have to up property tax. And that's the rough part about saying, well, I'm going to get more money. Well, if you're a property taxpayer here, that's not a popular thing to do.
especially since the school just took.
Yes, I was just going to say, bless their hearts. They've and they're coming back again to ask for more money. So I have not taken that approach. I have said I will make do. We had to cut some because of the property tax reduction that reduced our amount, and I've had to cut about 900,000 out of our budget to make it work. We're making it work. Not comfortable, but we work for the people who live here. We work for the people who pay. So I just have a hard time going, hey, you need to pay more, so I'm comfortable.
So when I worked at the sheriff's office, I was president of the Employees Association, and we had a discussion one time about the legislative process of deputies getting paid. So the sheriff's wages, deputies' wages are legislated.
Yeah.
What would you say if I said, Sheriff, I want to run a bill, and this bill is going to offer a different wage structure where you could hire detention deputies or sworn detention deputies, and more along the Oregon style of
Sure. Yeah.
and legislate it. Say, hey, if your sheriff's office wants to participate in sworn officers in your detention center and hiring them for the first 2 years through your detention center, then they become patrol. Is that something that you would look at? What are your thoughts or your ideas about that?
Well, there are agencies, and I've talked to them that do just that. So it's not only plausible, it's possible. The thing that's the expensive part is your hiring standards change, because when you hire a deputy, you have to go through all of the standards that you would for a deputy. You would increase your fixed cost because you're now hiring deputies, but the reason I say it's a plausible and possible is because you get a chance. If no one has any prior experience, man, you just have to start in detention, because you learn how to talk, you learn how those verbal skills, you learn the people that we have here. It's a great place, and somebody comes in, wants to be a deputy, but they don't have no experience. Say, please apply to be a detention officer. So if you want to do that, that's a program that I'm interested in. My last hires have pretty much been predominantly out of the detention center, and the plus part is we get to hire the cream of the crop.
Well, I've always, whenever anybody asks, I said, listen, you're going to get a better officer out of your detention.
That's 100%.
They're going to spend the time talking and
Yeah.
learning how to talk.
Yep.
Because that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to be able to walk into a pod with 24 guys.
Yep.
And you have to know how to talk to them.
Yes.
Communicate, how to calm them down.
Yes.
How to recognize them, and you get to know
right.
that community.
Yes.
But I've always, and I think because we've had this discussion before, I don't understand why the state hasn't stepped up and said, start your program. This is how we'll supplement you for the first 2-3 years.
That'd be great.
And then you get that program in place. We'll help you out for the first couple of years. And then that hiring process now gives the sheriff, what's the staffing level? It's 40, 48?
Well, I can go as high as 56.
So 56.
And I want to go as high as
So
56.
if we had 56 sworn detention deputies in an emergency, a sheriff now has a pool of 56 sworn officers that he could pull from and put them to work someplace else because they're sworn. They've gone through the same academy.
Yes.
I can't. Play the devil's advocate. Give me the downside of this.
The downside is the cost. Right now, detention officers do a lot of work, but they do it for a less amount. So they do it for a less amount because they don't have to pass a physical test. They don't have to do some of the things that going in for a deputy does. Like you don't, to be a detention officer, you don't have to do the Montana Physical Agilities test. You don't have to have that. You still have to take an aptitude test or a psychological test, but there's things that you don't have to do as a detention officer that you would as a deputy. So those are some of the drawbacks. The other drawback is budget, because we're going to pay you more because there's more expected of you, and you're going to be. You would still have to go. You can't work in the jail and do all of those like you did without detention officer basic. I tried that. So other you can challenge it. You can challenge that test and work in there, but most of them don't. And some do. Some will go over there, want the overtime, but if they don't have that detention officer basic, they can work the control room, they can help out there. But if they want to work like post or booking or different areas, they need the detention officer basic.
If they're going to come in contact with the defendant,
exactly.
They have to...
So you said something I want to cover real quick is coming in, and the word you didn't use, but I know you did it, is called de-escalation skills, because you walked into a pod with 24 and you did it without even telling you, okay, hey, John, those were de-escalation skills. Some things just came intuitive for you, but that's what we have to teach these newer people, that skill.
Right. And I've had this discussion with some of my now employees. I'm like, listen, I don't think you understand what it means to walk into a room and you have to own that room.
Yeah.
That room belongs to you.
Yep.
When you walk into a pod, that's my pod, and everybody understands it. Doesn't mean I'm going in there and throwing weight around. It means I can walk in there and sit down at a table and play a round of parts with the
correct.
defendants.
You want to be friendly, but not familiar.
Firm, fair, and consistent.
Yep.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the immigration. Yeah, everybody keeps bringing up the immigration thing.
I can talk to that 100%.
So explain what citizens are asking when they come to you.
That's a great question, because that's either they're going to burn me at the cross one side or the other. So I'll tell you how it works. So I'm not a 287G. That's a federal program. Well, actually, for the detention center, it's a 287E. So the G is for officers, E is for the detention. So I'm not. So what I can do is, if you are an illegal immigrant and the Immigration Customs Enforcement brings you in, and if you have a warrant, a criminal warrant, you're coming in. So I've been kicked by both sides, because I'll take those. They're criminal. I mean, if the difference is the civil detainer, I got in trouble because I did do that. I did take somebody in because they didn't cite the person, but the civil detainer I can't do, but the criminal, yes. So they're asking me, well, do you let ICE know? The answer is yes. That's state law. I don't know if people really know there's a state law that demands that I work with Immigration's Custom Enforcement. That's whether you think a sheriff should or shouldn't, a sheriff should follow the law. So
Absolutely.
so that's our detention job, is to let them know. Yes, if they were brought in for a criminal charge, they will be arraigned for that criminal charge. But immigration is going to know that they're there, and they're going to go through that process. And if it's going to be a long process, it's between the county attorney and the judge, going, maybe we just ship them back. That's not my decision. My decision is to let them know, make sure that they're available to make that decision.
I think people have a misnomer or misunderstanding that the sheriff gets to decide who stays in jail.
Yeah, that's 100% wrong.
And
not in Montana. You know that.
if there's not a warrant, if there's not a piece of paper signed by a judge,
Yes.
there's no acting on that or holding somebody
Correct.
on that.
Yeah.
So I'm running for office.
Yeah.
You're the sheriff of the county I want to run in. What
Okay.
questions do you have
What question do I have of you?
of me?
Yeah. What's your experience?
So my experience, I grew up in Bab.
Yeah.
Went into the Army.
Yep.
And then when I came back, I got out of the Army in Washington.
Yep.
Met my wife, who's standing out here watching us.
Okay.
Started a business, process serving in Yakima, Washington.
Okay.
Sold that business and came to Lewis and Clark, because if you spend any time in Washington, it gets it's a little trying.
Okay.
So moved back to Montana. Now, when I moved back, I had a job lined up at Malmstrom Air Force Base doing IT. By the time I moved here, got all my stuff into storage and got Great Falls, Malmstrom had closed that building that they were going to put me to work in. So
Gotcha.
my parents lived here in Helena, and so we came down here, and then I went to work at the pre-release center.
Okay.
Pre-release center, I applied for detention job with you.
Yep.
Who was it that did my background? I can't. Works at the hospital still. Did all the CPR classes.
Good question. It's escaping me, but I know who you're talking about.
So I've gone through the secret clearance.
Scott? Was it Scott?
No, it wasn't Scott.
Okay.
It was before
Right.
Scott.
Okay.
But
Will Cussman.
Will. It was Will.
Sorry. Squirrel. What?
It was
Okay.
Will. But went through my background check, and they would stick me, because they were checking on my military stuff, and they were sticking me in the interrogation rooms and asking me questions. And I was like, finally, I just took everything off of my walls, and I brought it all in, and I handed it to Will, and I said, "Here, this is everything I've got. Do what you want with it." But I did get hired.
Yeah.
I don't remember, 2 or 3 years I worked at the pre-release. I don't remember how long, but then I worked at the detention center for
Okay.
7 or 8.
I'm thinking between there, 7.5.
Okay, so and then I went to work for Justice Court after I left the detention center.
Yep.
Left the Justice Court, and then I bought bad boy bail bonds.
Right.
So my experience is a lot of military, law enforcement, and judiciary.
Okay.
And what I bring to the table and what I tell people is, mostly it's common sense.
Okay.
I am tired of going up. I've been at the Capitol for the last 3 sessions trying to get bills passed and arguing about homeschools and bail bond bills and judicial stuff. And when you only have 3 minutes to try and explain what you want to spend an hour or more explaining
Right.
to people, you cannot have anything happen unless you have a seat at that table.
Correct.
I run a business. I think that if I can fill a room at the Capitol with 300 years of experience, then it's the responsibility of citizen legislator who's sitting at that table to ask and learn and get the questions answered so that they make a common sense and good decision for a Montana citizen, for that business owner who's there for
Sure.
that one bill.
Yeah,
Whatever that bill is. They ran over 1,000 bills in the last
they
session.
did. Yes, a
And
lot.
there is not a legislator up there, and don't let anybody tell you that everybody knew everything that was going through there.
Oh.
It doesn't happen.
Okay.
I know a lot about the little bit of things that I know about.
Yeah, sure.
I know who to call and
Correct.
ask questions to if I don't know. I also have the common sense to say, okay, well, there's 20 guys sitting in this audience that are proponents of a bill, and I have an opportunity now to ask questions and start a conversation and learn about what the bill is in front of me, why it's good for Montana, why it's bad for Montana, why it's good for business, why it's bad for business, and make a decision based off of what the citizens are telling you, not what some lobbyist down the hall is coming to pay you for or ask you to do.
I hope they're not paying you.
But
I'm joking.
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's time for people to stand up for the citizen and say, listen, I'm going to represent you. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to ask the questions so I can learn about, I stand in this booth all during the fair and listen to people come in. And we just had a guy this morning come in and educate us for 45 minutes on noxious weeds. I know nothing about noxious weeds.
I don't either.
I do now. I know a little bit.
I know who to call. So,
But the point is you want somebody in the legislature who is going to look to the citizens and say, I'm not an expert at this. You just brought in 50 people that are. Let's get some questions answered and figure out what's good for Montana, what's bad for Montana. So,
and oftentimes they'll throw at you, what's the funding? Does it have a funding attachment to it? So a good way to kill a bill that's a good bill is attach a funding note to it.
right. If you have a fiscal note on there, what are we doing with that? I think a good question is, and it's in our platform because I'm running as a Republican, is we're not going to replace anything that private industry can do with a government funded program.
Okay.
And I won't let it happen. I'll fight to get rid of some of the programs that I believe are government funded that private industry does much better and cheaper. So be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars.
Yeah.
Smaller government, smaller budget, ask the questions, make common sense decisions based on what the citizens are asking you to do.
That works if they will step up, because what happened is, like, they cut my budget, but they still want the same service. So that approach is good. Just have private business or private, even NGOs, non-governmental organizations, step up and say, we can do that. So it's time to look at a broader perspective about who's doing what. And
I think if I see Montana going down roads every once in a while when in regards to laws where you can look to other states or even other counties. Let's just take other counties. When we were building the jail, me and Keith Greeny, we went and visited, I think, 4 or 5 different jails.
Correct.
To learn how those jails were running, because Butte has a 2-story jail.
Yes.
And Gallatin had just expanded, and we wanted to see how their direct supervision pod went.
Right.
But we went and pulled shifts at those jails to learn how they worked through the dual level, and because we were going to build a direct supervision pod. That's a small scale. Go to your neighbors, see what's working well, what's not working. At the state level, look to your neighbors, look to the other state, what is working and what is not working. Because if we're going to go down the same road as another state has already done, why are we doing that? Because we think we can do it better or differently, or we can make something work that didn't work somewhere else. It boggles my mind.
Yep, you got a lot of good experience out. I don't know how much time we have.
We can go all night. There's no time limit.
All right.
But if you have something to do,
Well,
Sheriff,
just, I do. I'm supposed to be out selling 50/50 tickets. So I'll finish off with, I started with Safety Service Trust. What I bring to the table is experience to do this job and to give the citizens what they deserve. You've had to work through and you've had the full understanding. You just explained the understanding that you have of the legislature. I have that experience. I'm the only candidate that understands at the executive level how to do this. What you explained is relationships. I have relationships here in Lewis and Clark County. I have them around the state. I have them around the western state sheriffs, and I have them nationwide. So what I can bring back to Helena, Lewis and Clark County, is either help or funding. You touched on something that's critical that I have had the wrong attitude towards, and that's private-public partnerships. I went and visited with the sheriff down Sierra Vista, Cochise County. He works with a private individual. There are people who want to help, but as government, we have been very reluctant to accept help. And that's what you're talking about.
that is exactly what I'm talking. I don't understand the if somebody's doing something in private, you partner with everybody for the events, the 50/50.
Yeah.
That's private industry doing that.
Yep. And that's great. So what he taught me was there are people who want to help that like being, I'll use the word peace, or use the word law enforcement, but really we're peace officers. The job we do is law enforcement. They want to help, but we've been inculcated with, oh, that's bad. Having some private individual, they expect a favor. No, they don't. They're going to save you $10 million. All they want to do is help. They have been blessed beyond measure. They want to give back. And I've had the wrong attitude toward that. Well, he helped me change that. So there's people who out there who want to help, and we can do more with less tax money, but we can get the job done because we've had that private-public partnership.
I think we need more of that. And
yeah,
not just at the county level, at the state level as well.
I agree. It's time we get into a paradigm, like me, I'll admit it, that, well, if it didn't come through tax money, then you can't do it. That's not right. That's not right. And I know that. And that's where I'm going to work on for my next 4 years. We'll see. In November, I don't want to speak arrogantly. I'll work for it. I've been sheriff for 17 years. And some people look at the sage in my hair. But the thing is, you don't develop relationships without a little bit of time and a little bit of respect. You don't get along every time. If you don't have some disagreements, maybe somebody's not telling you the truth. That's what I will say.
I think that the two people sitting at this table probably have had some disagreements before.
Absolutely, yeah. But how I think of it is, did you tell me the truth, or were you just argumentative? And I think you told me what you believed to be the truth, whether I agreed with it or not. Where I respected it, that's true. So
let's sell you some more tickets. So
okay.
If you're listening to the podcast, if you're down here at the fair, you can find the sheriff or any of the people in purple shirts.
Yes.
Selling 50/50 tickets.
Come on down. Please help us out. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm good at it. So
that's fine. Again, we're at the Red Quill Media booth. We're going to be going live on and off all night. If we have any other candidates that want to come and have a chat, or if you want to come talk to one of the candidates, come over here. You can sign up, you sign a release, and you can sit down and you can grill me and ask me all the questions you want. It's live.
Come on down. John's quite the orator.
Again, we thank New Vision Thrift Shop for providing all of our furniture and setting up this booth for us. We appreciate it. And we'll be at the fair all day, or all night tonight and all day tomorrow. So you have plenty of time to come down and find a candidate.
Right.
I bet you if you come in and you want to talk to the sheriff, he'll come back over and sit down with you.
I'll visit. All right.
All right.
God
Thank you,
bless
Sheriff.
you. God